All across the globe are many, many cultures. Every single one of us celebrate differently, have different values, and we have different core structures, even foods. But one thing that we all enjoy and is our favorite pastime, like baseball, is lying. According to lecturer Michael John Gorman, during his course appropriately titled Deception Perspectives from Science, Technology, and Art, lying is a foggy topic, yet is still presented in many ways. In the same lecture, a student made a point that if a patient is being lied to by his doctor to instill hope and faith that he will be cured or fixed, and give him some mental strength to get through whatever he's going through, wouldn't lying be the best route to go? Wouldn't that save the patient? Wouldn't that help the patient? This question is always brought up when discussing the topic of lying. Humans do it to tend to make justifiable excuses, and it makes complete sense. From the beginning of time, people have been lying even if they don't have to. And now I am here to explain the psychological reasoning behind why humans feel the need to lie, even when it's not 100% needed. I have always wondered why humans felt the need to lie when there's absolutely no reason to do so. We have all had an example of someone lying to us, even though you know they're lying, but you know that the truth would destroy you. I have also wondered how everyone can afford to replace the pants that they have now set on fire for the amount of lies that they have given. First, I want to discuss the different ways someone can lie. Next, I will discuss the thrill behind lying, and lastly, I will discuss why our brain is the reason why we do it. From the beginning of time, people thought they were lying even when they didn't have to. To explain the psychological reason why it continues, that is why I am here. Lying is broken down into two basic categories. There is one type of lying, which is white lies. Every single one of us is familiar with that, I'm sure. Every single one of us has said a white lie. The second is those that can justify, it's called strategic lying. This is a lie told to manipulate a situation for a personal use, gain, or to cover something up. This is where the thrill of lying comes into play. Lying becomes a mental game to us. We see how much we can push the edge, push the risk. Greater the risk, the better the reward, correct? That's always the saying, even in gambling. Lying becomes an everyday part of a life gamble. We can never turn away from a lie when we see the need that is going to benefit us. There is also a guaranteed variability into the process of lying. You're always going to have another lie that's going to make another step, an even better step for you, or even for another person. Lying to cover something up. It can be from just, I didn't break the vase, your expensive vase, that you know it's going to hurt when you figure out that someone had lied to you about breaking it and now you want some monetary value. But the person lying is 100% okay with it because they know they got away with the fact that there's a $50 broken vase sitting on the floor. But we can also lie about if we murdered somebody, which I do not highly recommend. That will get you some jail time whether you did it or not. It's not worth it. But the thought of getting away, bailing ourselves out of situations and protecting someone's feelings by lying, in the long run stems from the biologic cognition that we have implanted in our brains. Lying has become our brain's handy tool and a vast toolkit that we are all born with. This was proven by Coco the gorilla when he ripped a sink out of a wall. He then blamed it on his pet cat. Now, mind you, I don't think a cat has thumbs or the strength to rip an entire sink out of a wall. But he still chose to blame his pet cat. Now, mind you, Coco the gorilla is very humanly smart, smarter than some of us liars out here in the world, but he still chose to point it at the cat. The gorilla did learn, though, that she wasn't a good liar, but she still tried. She still tried. But this also comes from when we were little. We are born liars, whether you like it or not. Fake crying to get what we want has been stemmed into ourselves since 6 months up until now. There's plenty of adults that still lie to get what they want, and that's what we are. That is our human nature. If I want to find somebody that has not said a lie in their lives, it would be someone that just was birthed out of their mother. Because even at 6 months, that's what we're stemmed into, to lie to get what we want. But we learn this across our learning in life. At 2 months, we also learn how to lie. We start picking up that crying gets what we want. But then at 6 months, that's when we really learn, like, we can get away with lying to get what we want if we do these tasks. It's just a learned behavior that we now have. And your brain does it over and over and over again. And then sometimes you end up really, really good at it late in life. And then others, you're not so great at it, and now you're always getting caught. This is also how we place bets. On a young age, we start getting into that lying cognitive behavior, and then we start getting into the gambling where we want to place bets. Just like lying, it gets us even farther. We see what we can push, we see our limits. But also, speaking of placing bets, anybody want to place a bet on the cost of pants that it's going to take to fill out how many lies we've all done? There's so many pairs of pants that are on fire in this room. No one wants to place a bet? I don't blame you. From the beginning of time, humans have been lying to save themselves, save others. Some have even been so cognitively infatuated with the risk it becomes a natural behavior, and those are the ones we see on TV. What would you do next time you set flames to your trousers? Let the centuries of behaviors take over, or will you try to fix humankind by trying to get them to quit lying? The world is your oyster.